in English, I don't have a problem with Londie. Everything I said, there's nothing I say behind her back that I can't say to her face, and I said that, and I'd like to think she serves the same respect. If she doesn't, it's a pity. Oh, Minnie, what started the past? And this is where we sketch on. It's a cynicalness that I don't stand. When I ask a simple question, I'm answering, and she's replying to me with the you will keep quiet when I speak. Lana, once again. It's coming at me, but I still don't get it. Like it's lula in, it's bangani. Ngabe ngiyashuthi sibangizini ngamara still. No. Ngabe ngiyashuthi sibangomuhle but still. No. Very correct. I'm so sorry. Never trained it in your entire life. You work on your back, you work on my speech, we're not at the same level. Ang vele ngiyibeke kanje. Thina masisebenza sensinya. Silala ngomhlanje. What is she insinuating? She said I get my money on my back. Bitch, where do you work? Bitch, look at. Does she know I work for my money? Does she know? Does she know how much it took me to get where I am? I'm upset. When I'm upset, I cry. I left because Sunday was fucking. I know. Like, don't. I'm fucking sick of these dumb bitches. Because I want to have a flipping payslip. Supposed to go to seven. Hi, Bo. Afford that.
Bottles. Short woman running around with a bottle. Uyisakala bedelo Minnie. Uyisakala, but hello. Hello, hi, she's me to say hi. Small time didi or khadi on these every internet. I am back. Hello, yalla. I'm not even I'm just gonna talk about what I want to talk about. All of this, they got on I'm not gonna do all of that shit scene by scene. We're gonna talk about what's there to really talk about, right? The girls got into it, and maybe we're starting to get some direction as to why Minnie. You know what, guys? Maybe we don't have a few things could be happening. Minnie's a bitch with a grudge. Like, she's just the type of bitch that doesn't let go once you come at her offside, especially because there's no rapport, so to speak. Like, Londie doesn't know her from above soap as far as we know. Amo papel and said what she said about her dress, and now she's just like put off this lady. Like, she's put off, and she's just, this is it now. I have those people where my first interactions with them were just so seared, or they were too forward or something, and I'm just like, nah, bitch. Or two, it is what we said, right? She's done something to a friend, an acquaintance, an industry, somebody who Minnie has a close relationship with, and she's now sort of like Bluetoothed, inherited this kind of beef, and she's carrying a bone for this other person. Three, she's intimidated by her. And not in I feel like we keep going the beauty route. Like, oh my God, she's just jealous of her because Londie's so pretty. They both are presents. And I think Minnie was enjoying feeling like this is her season and she's going to be the presence on the show. And the reintroduction of this lady whom she knows has this presence, whom she's a fan of, or at least follows her career. She knows this lady like we know her, right? From socials, or maybe even closer, like I said, through industry people, because Minnie is an on-air personality, predominantly in Durban. She seems to have because I went through her Instagram. She does a lot of work with Felix. I don't know if they're co-hosts or they just book them a lot for a lot of gigs, but she's a radio girl. She's a host. She seems to be doing great at what she does, and she seems to be somewhat like of a local celebrity out there in Durban. And it's one of those things, but she really does not smack for her shit. Like, she does not like Londie, and she's not changing her mind about how much she does not like Londie. What I don't like is the dishonesty. I feel like I could ride for either one of them, because Londie's my girl, but I actually don't have qualms with Minnie. Like, I don't think Minnie doesn't have the vileness of Sane. When she can hold her own. She's very loud. She's very rehearsed, which can be very annoying with like her addressing. She's very acty. You don't speak to me like that, which is very much like inorganic and inauthentic. I wish she would just be a bit more relaxed and authentic. But I think that comes with being in the line of work that she's in. Bonang moves a similar way, right? Very rehearsed. Like, everything is a little quip, a little moment, a quotable. They just can't be. Like, I don't know how to explain that. But I could go up for either one of these bitches at any point. I could like Turk on the fence, like they say, be team this one, be team that one, very easily. I just needed her to be honest about what her qualms are. Like, what is your jive with this lady? If you could just be like, I don't smoke for the bitch because I don't smoke for the bitch. You know, sometimes you just don't like a bitch. Yeah. Valid. It's not valid. Okay, great. Her energy is not vibing with her. Whatever. But she keeps trying to make it other things to give it validity, to make it to get people on her side so that they can, like, she doesn't just look like an outright hater. I'd respect her more if she stood in her hater bag, like strong. Like, I just don't like her and stuff. But like, a lot of things are happening, right? It's all the brand stuff that we don't want to address as to why it is. Black women in particular, or a certain type of Black woman, is so brand conscious and brand obsessed, and what they think wearing these brands says about them to other people, or what they're trying to communicate by wearing these brands. And we're still at the situation where Londie is at the pool party where she asked the girls to show up in designer bathing suits and stuff because she is a brand whore. And to her, she thinks it communicates something in terms of levels and blah, blah, blah. And she says as much, right? Recently, somebody said something online, and a favorite journalist of mine who really is, I know them now as a TikToker, but I feel like I take away from their like craft by calling them a TikToker because he's like a journalist before he's a TikToker. But he stitched something where somebody was talking about how our obsession with brands has it's tied to something a lot deeper. And everybody laughed it off, and everybody was like, oh my god, you like this use of psychological terms in like everyday life is so annoying, blah 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 blah. But I knew that there's some truth to what's being said here, because I know this type of person who is so brand conscious and really wants to have these things on their bodies, and they can talk about it's the quality or the fucking want. There's something deeper going on there when you are. This is the other shit that I don't like, right? Lorete namo in like T-Manas, however, really gazetele because you're in hospital. You don't have medical aid, and I'm not suggesting anybody doesn't have medical aid, but they show out, they show up in the world looking a certain way, and then the next minute they need us to help them with something, and it's like, y'all are fucking annoying. And I'm not saying Londie's gonna do that or that she doesn't have medical aid, but that fucking delay is needed on money just recently. Okay. Because you're prioritizing having these brands on you because you're trying to communicate something to the rest of the world. It's sort of like trying to elicit some external validation by putting these things on your body. You feel you're saying something to the outside world, and then they will in turn treat you a certain way. And in certain circles, I suppose it works that way. But in the circles that you think you belong in, like Londie's kind of language, you're not on Sarisha's level. Even trying to speak like you know, Annie and Londie, I saw this in the season that they were in, where they got with some dudes who have, you know, some change, little bit of monies, and they're finding themselves being able to afford a little bit of Gucci, you know, and do a little bit of this, and then they seem to think they belong to a certain like social class now. I don't know if they lack the like the analysis that they don't belong there. They get to dabble, they get to dip their little toe, they get to be around it. But theirs is a house of cards a little bit more delicate than what Joe and Sarisha's setup is. But it's so fragile that when the tiniest things go wrong, nothing can go wrong. The entire thing comes crumbling down. The entire thing. And it is very evident because we have here a Londie who's returned after leaving when said house of cards came crashing down. Because she was moving a certain way, Okay, very, we can afford this, we can afford that, which is fine. That's what we expect on a Real Housewives show. But, darlings, I must apologize for the sound. I mean, I don't have a third take in me. And this one is for the people who love the reviews. I am sorry. Somebody said they have a part of a mic and blah, blah, blah. And I appreciate them so much for that. But I already had a friend of mine who the mic needs to get to me. Like, he just needs to get it to me. So I'll fix it. Like, I can't even record all the videos I wanted to get out today because I am so done with everything happening with. I'm sorry about the quality moving. Like, it's fine until it's not. It's annoying, and I'm sorry. But we see who you're partnered with. The money looks a little fast. It looks like you did bet on the wrong horse there a little bit. You should have just gone with the guy that doesn't have with the avatar. I don't know why girls like this who have these kinds of options date the way they do, and I don't get it. I don't get it, but they do. But Londie left the show. She left the show because she could no longer show up on the show in the way that she's now pressuring these other women to show up on the show. And instead of us having a come to the audience moment where she tells us where the fuck she's been, where we get a real storyline as to what's happening with Londie, we're stuck in all of this back and forth with her and Minnie doing God knows what, and we don't have answers. All the times we've seen her trending, and it's crazy to me that the production companies allow them to do this. Okay, I understand they've got two very young children, her and Annie. They want to get off the show, right? When they're going through it, they feel like it's not healthy for but they need to come back on the show on condition of you don't get to not answer for the things we saw on the blogs and not give us a real storyline, and then you come back being Miss Fabulous again because you are now reestablish yourself as a businesswoman. Your hair care company is doing fine, or perhaps you bagged another nigga that's bankrolling your current life. I don't even give a shit how you're doing it, girl, because I'm here for any of it, right? But you get to come back on the show telling us to buy designer this, designer that, and not in the blogs we heard that man had taken the cars. We don't get to have those answers. What we get to have is you and Minnie doing a back and forth over nothing. Minnie needs to just say, I don't like that lady, and be done with it. Right? And now they're doing a back and forth, and she's saying, to who even are you? Who do you come from? And Minnie's saying, my parents were disrespected. You putting 20 on 10, short woman. You really are. I'm very short, me. You really are. You really are. This is one of those things where I can tell her issue is a bit more silly than we want to admit. When you try to find other elements to balk why it is you don't like this person, like she disrespected your parents. No, she didn't. You're in the middle of an exchange and she said, like, who even are you? Where do you come from? Like, that's a thing. That's a back and forth. That is not her directly saying your mom and dad this, that, and your mom and dad this, that. That's not what was said. How are your parents disrespected here? But it sounds good. You can get people to rally behind that. And because your whatever for her is not rooted in anything real, you do need to recruit people. You need to recruit people so you look less crazy as to why it is you're having this back and forth with this lady. Another thing, if you say something to somebody and you feel like that's a bar, if you keep repeating it, it loses its sting. Minnie said to Londie, you work on your back, I work on my feet. And then she kept saying it. Like, she said it like at some other, like when they went off into another room, and then she said it somewhere else in her confessional. This time she said it in Zulu and stuff. And in my mind, I'm like, do we want to check on her feet? Right? I don't know the currency. Okay? Like, is Minnie mad because she has bunions and this one doesn't, and they get to sit at the table, at the same exact table? Is that what she's mad about? What's going on here? When those are off in the bedroom, Minnie and the twins, I don't know who is who, and I'm not going to bother myself because they want to be the same person. Her and the twins are somewhere, they're talking about how we're not slay queens. Here you are sitting at a table built by slay queens. Nobody wants to watch you, ho. If the show was started by you, the show would have fell dead. There'd be nothing to watch. You're sitting here on the table where the premise is these women have married well and look how well they're taken care of. And their job is to stay pretty and probably fuck good. And they really gotta cook. Not really. Joe don't cook. Sarisha cook. Okay? Sarisha's out there cooking mutton and she's vegetarian, bitch. Oh, it take a lot to keep that Viv happy. Hey, I'll do it. But anyway, the point is, you are sitting at at a table, the whole franchise, the brand is watch how these slave queens elevate. That's the brand. And then you get to come and sit at this table and you think you're too good for the women that built the table for you. Nobody wants to watch. Everybody wants to, they want you at the show. The twins, your brand is not high end. I wish we would get off that shit. Also, what is a brand? I feel like with social media, where we moved into the space where everybody thinks they have the potential to be a brand because of personal branding and influencing and all of that stuff, we just throw it around ever so loosely. You're not a brand. You're not. We cannot go purchase your item right now. Do I want to purchase it? I think I'll say this every time I do a video now. One of you is in the confessionals with artificial, is it ginkgo or jinko, the flower, right? An artificial one that they spray paint gold and like we use it on like cake decorations and all types of other stuff. Why don't you staple that onto your fucking outfit and you're over here trying to like do a back and forth, you're not a brand, my babe. I don't know what to tell you. Your clothes aren't a brand. Okay? If you're working on the line, it's barely even in its infancy. There's no concept because you showed us like dresses on the runway that like everyday dresses that I can go get anywhere. There's nothing wow I'm like, oh my god, that's the only place I'm gonna go get this dress, right? Now there's a pool party, but did you add a swimwear line to this like infant brand already? What is it then? What does it do? Is it evening wear? Is it beach wear? What is it doing? It's doing fucking nothing because it's a dream you have. Okay, that's about all you have going on. An idea and a dream. Get the fuck out. This is not a brand. Do you know who is a brand? Do you know who's a brand? That fucking Londie London. That girl is a brand. Like, whether or not we like it, whether or not you respect what the brand is, it's a brand. Okay? Minnie saying, oh, Unkomela about trending. Girl, do you not remember how this came about? Minnie said to Londie, oh, you want to use me to trend, baby? Minnie, we're talking about you because of Londie. We're not talking about Londie because of you. Do you understand what I'm saying? That husband had no husband being there, but the husband was right. You may have a name in Durban and you're that bitch in Durban. And this is not me taking away from like what you do, how hard you work, all of that stuff. But this show is not about us seeing how hard you work. We don't give a shit about how hard you're working. We want to hear about how you're not working and you still have nice things. That's why we watch this show. We work hard. We know about hard work. Okay? There's no escapism in me hearing about your fucking bunions, girl. Okay? I don't care. Like, it's not cute, bitch. I don't want to hear about it. I want to hear about how the girls are on their backs and living soft. That's what the fuck I see when I watch the show. If I wanted that struggle stuff, I'd be over there on the modular, watching the whole struggle for broke niggas and whatever else that they do. I don't want to know about your pay slip. I don't want to know that you have a pay slip. Okay? I want you to be like, booby. That's what I'm watching. I want some unethical like display of just like obscene amounts of wealth, just like opulence, just disgusting stuff. That's why I'm here. And I really need for everybody to, and that's why I call it my guilty pleasure. This is why I suspend my politic for a second. I want to be like, oh my God, did you see? I want to hear about how hard you work. Who doesn't work hard? There's a disdain or even like I hate the word jealousy because it just seems lazy. But there's a thing where we think like slave queens are like it's easy. And then at the same time, when we find out the lengths that these women have to go to get these niggas to provide the things they provide for them, we're like, oh, that's hard. I would actually rather go to my job because ain't no easy money. Even though they say there is, it's not. It's not. Everybody's working hard. On their back, on their feet. Everybody's working hard. Okay? And stop saying it to me time. That husband can never be on my screen ever again. Saying what he said to Minnie threw me into a rage. Minnie should have, I'm not promoting violence, but she should have flung that bottle at him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because then I don't think she would have missed. Then I don't think so many people would have caught her. Then it would have done what the fuck it was supposed to do. You're in a group of women like that. You're standing up, doing that thing Joe was doing. Joe watch me. Joe act like she don't watch me, but hey Joe. Hey Joe. I know. Hi, Mrs. Robinson. Joe watch me. I told her to stop towering people. She hasn't towered nobody once this season. Mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give you some points on that, Joe. I know you watch me, girl. But like, here's this man, fine. The friend is like, this other woman is louder and she's going at her, and you're feeling the need to defend your friend right now. Why, as a man, gay or not, up and imposing your physicality as a man on this tiny woman? Mind you, you're sitting like a few people away from her. You could have saved your bed. In fact, don't say shit. This has nothing to do with you. These women can hold their own. They can do the back and forth. You didn't need to. Let me tell you what the husband's role was supposed to be in this season. The husband was supposed to have a one-on-one with Londie, where they sit down and have a coffee or champagne, just the two of them, and then she opens up to him, but really to us, telling us where the fuck she's been and if she was driving a Taz. How did it feel to go back to a vehicle that didn't have a mobilizer? That's what the fuck he should have been doing there. Sitting across from his mate, don't bring them in the group because they don't know the dynamic of that group and they're bound to put their fucking foot in it. Right? Theirs is to do little one-on-ones where we want a vulnerable moment with the housewife, but we feel like none of the ladies are friends enough with them to really give us the kind of emotional, and comfortability that we're looking for in order to get the story out of the housewife. The guys, they sit there, oh my God, I'm Ghani, your friend. Like, I had to go back to Joburg and start from scratch. He took his car, but then that other man bought me a car. Or people think that man bought me a car, but I really worked hard. Like, my brand has done so well. Like, my hair line is doing this and doing that. And he's like, oh my God, I'm Ghani, I'm so proud of you. I'm gay. Like, that's what the fuck husbands are supposed to be doing here. It's the only thing they're supposed to be doing here. Okay? I really want to know about the Taz. I don't think you guys understand. I don't think you understand. I do need for the show to book Minnie a pity. She's in dire need of one, clearly. Because ain't no way somebody talk about their feet like that and everything is okay. Ain't no way. And get some soap nails on the hand. She's pretty. She deserves some soap nails. Do you understand? Because it seems like her feet are in dire need of attention. And she feels like it's not fair that her and Londie are sitting in the same room and Londie's feet look soft. Because Londie apparently she's mad about that. She's mad about that. Slut shaming is just so, it didn't land for me. And it's like, it's not even that it's not a bar. I think it's just because I don't have this kind of view around how the girls get it. Like, I don't have this moral thing around how the girls get to have it. Like, what is the point? She's a pretty girl. Men want to do nice things for her. Great. They want to. Londie, you can't have it both ways. You can't keep talking about your beauty and how it's about your beauty and people can't compete with your beauty and blah, 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 blah. And also that cry about like how hard you work for your money. It can be a little bit of both. Truly. Truly it can be. But you need to figure out what the brand obsession stuff is for you. Truly you do. With Angel crying because, her aunt community, like her mom's not well. And that was really that really got me going. But on Low, because I was going to forget to talk about Low for a second. Low in her own right is also a brand, however small in that area. And it's not fair of Minnie as well as Londie to expect this woman who's she's a Mamfundisi, guys. Brand Mamfundisi is to bring people together, just try to toe the line. Don't be too this or too that. We learned that she knows Minnie because Minnie's little sister is somebody she's close to in the church. What does it look like now if she is to be on television and Londie's doing a back and forth with Minnie and she takes Londie's side? It's gonna hurt. Them two are not being fair to their friend and the line of work and her calling, if we would like. If your friends come, I don't have an expectation for my friends to have my back to their detriment. I think that's how we end up with Joku. I expect because I'm very maybe it's because I can be unhinged and I got my own back. They call me big back. But anyway, I've got my own back like that where I'm like, yes, people take up for me in situations that call for it. Right? That said, when I know I'm being unhinged and it could possibly like hurt my friend to come to my aid, I don't have the expectation of them to put their shit on the line and come to my aid when the thing that I'm doing here is first of all diabolical, but could also harm their reputation, harm the look of them. And they are both wrong. No is not wrong. They're wanting her to just choose and be like, oh, I'm choosing you, oh, I'm choosing you. Peter Manfundi to be on a show like this. They should understand where she's coming from. And also, both of them have things to own in this shit. Them acting like her saying, y'all are kind of wrong. Because it's like, this one says this one says that. And I understand, okay, this one started it, but own your part in escalating something. Do you understand? And maybe at the end of the day, where they can look back, they can see that they really did put her between a rock and a very hard place. Angel saying she's the one who brought her into the circle. Bitch, you know it was Sarisha. I don't know why you're saying that. That's really it. Had Nonko just got her work done before they went on the trip? Her lips looked unsettled. I'm sorry, it was unnerving for me. You guys I tried to not speak on the ladies and what they look like, but she's gotta stop doing shit to her face quickly. The ladies played some game at the end where I was just like, ugh, whatever. Trying to stir up drama, but it was mean. But I guess that's what the girls do. They play mean games, and because see, once you have to fabricate things like that to move the show along, I get bored. Viola.